Good day and welcome to You're Not Allowed to Say the S Word, a Heartstopper podcast. We are the small pod that are big on heart and even bigger on Heartstopper, and we're not going to apologise for it. I'm the host, Luke, and I'm joined by the Yellow and Blue crew. Today, it's cousin Ellie. Ellie, what's good in your life?
I've just come back from Australia.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
How was it? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was really nice, thanks. It was far from relaxing, but...
Why?
Well, because we were doing a lot of bouncing from one place to the other, exploring, and also because we had a 10-month-old with us.
Okay, yeah.
Which kind of eliminates any opportunity to lie on a beach and relax. But yeah, it was really good. We saw lots of nice places, ate lots of food, although the whole trip was tainted by the flight home, which was an absolute disaster.
Okay, well, I want to get onto that, but before we get onto it, I want to know, when you were in Melbourne, did you do the Neighbours tour?
No, because
Why?
they've closed it. That
What?
was number one on my list. They've shut it, yeah, because obviously Neighbours has now been discontinued.
But
and
I thought they would
closed the tour.
carry that on forever.
They did for a little
because it's
while, but-
must be so. That's such a shame.
Yeah, I was devastated because that was, to be honest, the only reason I was going to Melbourne.
Did you go to any of the Secret Life of Us places I told you to go to?
No, I did.
Oh my God.
I did try and search, but it wasn't anywhere near exactly where I was.
They have trams.
They do have trams, but I just didn't end up managing to fit it in venturing there, unfortunately. I apologise.
That's disappointing. So what did you do?
In Melbourne or just...
Just full stop. I don't really care now, but what did you do?
Well, in Melbourne, Nads was working for the week at the Grand Prix.
It's pronounced Grand Prix.
I know, but we have an ongoing joke because when she interviewed for a job in Formula 1, she knew nothing about Formula 1 and she spent the interview calling it the Grand Prix.
I mean, you don't need to know about Formula 1 even to get that right. You just have to know some French.
I know, and she actually does speak French.
Well, clearly not.
Oh yeah, I don't know how she managed that one. But yeah, so Casper and I were just exploring. We were staying in a nice hotel because obviously Nads had a room through work. So I did have a fair few afternoon naps in a nice queen-size bed with real feather duvets and pillows.
Worth the flight.
That's what my mum said. She was like, you've gone an awful long way to have a daily nap. But it was needed to get over the jet lag anyway. Yeah, I just did all of the touristy bits, all of the things you need to do. Went to St Kilda and Brighton Beach. They've got a beach called Brighton Beach.
So you went to St Kilda but didn't go to any of the Secret Life of Us places because they were too far away, even though it's all in St Kilda.
Yeah, but St Kilda, I only went to the beach. I didn't actually venture into town.
God.
Yeah. And then it was impossible
Luna
to get
Park?
anywhere.
Did you go to Luna Park? Why didn't you go to Luna Park?
Isn't Luna Park in Sydney?
No, it's in Melbourne.
Oh, then no, I didn't. I didn't know that was a thing.
I told you.
What else did we
hopeless.
do? Oh yeah, all like the graffiti lanes, all of like the touristy places, botanical gardens. I went to the museum because they had a Vivienne Westwood exhibition, which was really, really good.
Ooh.
That was really good, actually. I mean, it went really fast in Melbourne. We didn't have long because then we went to Sydney, and that's where we spent most of the time, exploring the city and the eastern suburbs and the beaches. And then we went to visit Nadia's cousin and then our cousin.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which was nice.
Oh, really acidy.
It might be the Dr. Pepper.
It could be anything, Ellie. It could be anything.
Or the treacle torte you had for dinner.
Could be anything. It could be absolutely anything. Oh, good. So that's fun then. And then tell us about this flight home.
Oh my God. I don't even know if you want to hear. It's actually quite revolting.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so basically we had one of those flights where you have like a stopover, but it's like an in-transit one where they just refuel, so you get off the plane for like an hour and you get back on the same plane and you carry on. And luckily we were going through Singapore, so we were avoiding like the conflict zones in the Middle East. So that's
quite
great.
handy.
So we thought, easy peasy. However, when we got to our seats on the plane, and we were sitting in one of those seats where you can have the baby bassinet. So
I didn't know they existed.
yeah, they're quite good. So we were like at the very front.
Sorry. Again. That's what I was waiting. I've been waiting for that to come up for a little while. Oh, I do feel better now.
Oh my God.
So sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so we were kind of like sat at the front of the section with kind of extra leg room, and then they have a little table thing where they put like a kiddie seat or bassinet in. But that wall directly in front of us is the toilet.
Oh no.
So not ideal, but I thought, okay, hopefully it'll be fine. Often the toilets can be okay, so whatever. But
You're deluded.
not long into the flight, when we're in the air, suddenly this smell starts to appear that's like a mixture of fish and urine mixed together.
So like how you've turned up tonight.
I don't have a urine smell. I just happened to cook salmon for dinner.
Okay.
I hope I don't have a urine smell.
And this is the time we had to break it to her. You always smell of urine.
That's so mean.
No, sounds good. Just jokes.
Anyway, and I thought, maybe because we're near the toilet, maybe it's just like a general aroma that's coming from the toilet. But you know, I'd used the toilet was pristine, there was no smell in the toilet. I didn't think it was coming from actually like inside the toilet. There was no mess or anything at all. And in fact, it smelled better when you went in the toilet. So I was like, this is weird. So I started to suspect that it was the poor woman next to me and that maybe she had some kind of yeast infection or I don't know. And Nads and I spent the whole time completely baffled. I don't even know how to explain, but basically saying like, how on earth could somebody smell that bad? Like it was that bad. And every time I like bent down to pick something off the floor, like the smell was heightened. It was so bad. It was unbearable and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I thought maybe, you know, we're sat on a plane for a long time without a shower. That's why the smell is getting worse. Anyway, it was really quite unbearable. And then eventually when we finally could get off the flight, we left the plane and realised that the smell was continuing to follow us.
It was you.
Well, it wasn't us, but what had happened is we soon discovered basically all of the like raw sewage toilet water there's some kind of like leak in the drainage system, and it had all started flooding the carpet in the footwell in front of our seats, our row of seats. And we had, as you do, you know, you pop your bags down or, you know, you take your shoes off, but, you know, it's a long flight. We had loads of stuff on the floor on that carpet, and all our bags, it had seeped into all of our bags, and it was literally the most horrific thing. And I felt so awful for blaming this poor lady sat next to me the whole flight. It was awful.
You should.
Yeah, I feel so bad.
And now you've said the things you've said about her on here and made it so much worse.
But what's also worse is she probably spent the whole flight thinking it was me.
Yeah, well, yeah, those two lesbians next to me.
It was just horrific. So then we immediately had to go to British Airways and file a massive complaint and get the manager and get her to sniff all of our belongings that had been ruined. And now we're hoping for some compensation. They're like going through the claim because it was absolutely horrific. But
How did you find out that that's what caused it?
Because
how do you know it was like the raw sewage stuff?
Because there is no other smell that could smell like that, and our bags had soaked up all of the liquid that was on the carpet.
Oh no.
Yeah, really terrible. You probably don't want to like actually post this, but it was absolutely awful.
Oh dear. Well, at least it was on the way home and not the way there.
At least it was on the way home, and I immediately like burned everything.
You didn't actually.
I didn't,
burn
but I
anything,
disposed of
did you?
everything.
Why have you lied? Why have you ruined it with a lie?
I was like, nothing's salvageable. We're just going to chuck it all.
No. What sort of things? What did you lose?
A couple of tote bags, like a food cooler bag, a rucksack, a few of Casper's toys that he'd accidentally like dropped when playing. The baby carrier we'd put on the floor.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And the baby?
Luckily, thank God we didn't put the baby on the floor, because that could have been really disastrous.
Yeah, when you had to throw him away.
The lady next to us had a 9-month-old who was playing on the floor down there, and I really worry, like, is the baby okay? Awful.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was really bad. And now I've got no skin on my hands because I've come home. You know, like when you've dealt with something like that and you know you've been holding items and I get myself like so obsessive that I can't stop washing my hands, and I've literally cleaned every inch of my house and mopped all the floors because I'm like, what if an ounce of germ has got somewhere? And now I've got like no skin on my hands and all my nails have come off because my hands are so dry.
Ew, well that's unpleasant.
Yeah, so it's gross. Absolutely gross. Horrific. Casper was amazing, bless him. He was a really good boy the whole time. The only issue was the stench.
Oh well, it's over now.
Don't fly with British Airways. They were awful in several.
They're usually a very
ways.
reputable carrier.
Yeah, I think less so for long haul now. They're not near the top contenders. They also, despite me submitting my allergens, everything that they gave me contained soya, because they just gave me the vegan option, and literally even the plant-based butter contained soya. So I was like, well, you haven't done very well, have you?
So what did you eat?
Well, on the way there, nothing, because I didn't really think about packing food. On the way back, I came equipped with a full packed lunch, just in case, which I'm glad I did.
Which you kept on the soggy soiled floor.
Yes, correct.
Lovely. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you had a lovely trip.
It was great.
And it's so nice to have you back. Good. Well, we've got no Indigo today because they are busy moving flat, which is very exciting. We can't wait to catch up with how all of that has gone next time, so we'll catch up with them then. And I've not really got much to say. So yeah, that's that. But hey, look, we're here to get back into Solitaire, so we've got to maximise Solitaire time anyway. Now, one thing I did mention last week, Ellie, when you weren't here, is I have started listening to my first ever audiobook.
Oh!
Because I thought, I better get myself back up to speed with Solitaire, but I was like, I don't have time to actually read it, so I'll audiobook it on my like drives around the place and stuff. It's not a good reading.
No, it's really not, is it? I know, that's why I said I struggled with it so much. I ended up having to get the book out the library and read it.
Are all audiobooks that bad?
I don't know. I don't feel like that. I used to listen to audiobooks when I was a kid, like Harry Potter and things like that, and I mean, but that was narrated by Stephen Fry, so that's not going to be bad.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah, it just didn't work.
It's just not good. And like some really fundamental issues as well. Like in the bit where she's talking about ship names, she pronounced Hermione, as in Ron and Hermione from Harry Potter, and no matter your feelings on Harry Potter, you pretty much know how to say that. She mispronounced that.
How did she say it?
Romeo or something.
Oh dear.
Romeo. It was wrong. And I was like, is no one checking that she's doing it right?
Yeah.
She misread the word fleeing as fleeting. It was not good, but it has helped me to get back into the world of Solitaire, so that is good. I've noticed some differences in the version that I've read from the version which was on the audiobook, which I think is the one that you and Indigo read. So like chapter 23, for example, when Ben attacks Charlie, there are some differences in that. It's a little bit more extreme in the version you read. I was listening back to it and I was like, oh my god, we didn't talk about this nearly as much as I think we needed to. And then I looked back and I was like, no, we didn't. But also, there are differences. But also, just in general, I was like, god, there are so many things that we didn't really discuss or go into in great detail that we probably should have, but we didn't, and it's too late and we're not going back now. But then also, like, we can't talk about everything, and you've got to read the book, haven't you? But yeah, some stuff that we probably should have talked about a bit more. But it's also, I feel that I don't take stuff in mentally.
I'm the same.
Like I used to.
Yeah, I'm the
Like,
same.
I remember when Game of Thrones was on, and people would be like, I can't get to grips with what's going on. There are so many different threads and so many, and I was like, what? It's easy. It's just that one. And now, I'm reading that back, I was like, all of part 2, when I listened to it back, I was like, it's like I've never read this. And I know I have because I've written notes, but it's like I've never read this. I started watching House of the Dragons season 2 today, and I got about halfway through the episode and I was like, I have watched the first season. I don't know who any of these people are or what's happened. I'm going to have to go back and watch it all again.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Why is that? What's happened to me?
I don't know if it's just like as you get older, your ability to absorb information reduces, or if it's like sleep deprivation, or I just think life is so busy, work is so busy, and you've only got so much capacity, and there just isn't room to take in new information.
Maybe, but it's a shame. But yeah, so if you've been listening along and thinking, why aren't they talking about that? Why have they met? It turns out I now know that we didn't do that, and I'm sorry, but talk to us about it. Talk to us about it, and you know where to talk to us about it. In the Facebook group is the best place. You can get to us at Heartstopper Podcast on Instagram. But yeah, also, like, loads of stuff has been missed, so you will just have to read the book. But it would be bad if we just told you everything that was in the book anyway, because then that's not fair on the great writing of Alice Oseman. But there we are. Right, we are ready to enter part 2 of Solitaire. And this is the part where we're going to find out who Solitaire is. But we're not going to get there today.
And can I just check, you've now finished?
No.
Oh, you haven't? So you haven't found...
We're not going to get there today, and I still don't know who Solitaire is. But I've compiled theories. Well, I came up with the top 5 Solitaire contenders, and then I extended it to a top 8. But the last
8? Are there even 8 characters
the last
in this book?
3 seem a bit too ridiculous, but also
I'm keen to hear.
quite possible. So,
To
right.
your list.
My number 1 contender is still Lucas, but I've also put brackets possibly with Evelyn involved as well. Maybe the 2 of them working together. At number 2 is Michael. It seems too obvious, but then at the same time...
Could it be like a double bluff?
Yeah. My number 3 is Becky. What if it's Becky, though?
Becky was one of my top suspects as well at this point.
My number 4, which came out of nowhere for me when I was doing my listen back, when I was listening to the audiobook, was Zelda, who I don't think we've even mentioned, but Zelda is like the head girl of the school, I think, is she? And is the one that recruits Becky to the investigation and stuff like that. Operation, whatever it's called, I can't remember now. And she crops up a couple of times, I'm like, could be her. My number 5 is Mr. Kent.
Imagine.
He's very sus. There are lots of sus things going on in Mr. Kent. So they're my top 5. But I've also, here are my outside 3. Chili.
Ooh.
Charlie and Nick.
Ooh.
But it would be...
I suppose they do know Tori.
There's so much stuff. There are so many things that point to the fact it could be them. But it seems so ridiculous. As if I were just reading Solitaire on its own and Heartstopper didn't exist, and I hadn't read or watched any of Heartstopper, it would seem like a really valid guess. But knowing Heartstopper, it seems ridiculous. They wouldn't do that, surely. Or would they?
Who knows?
But that would be such a... But also, that would have had to have been a part of...
Heartstopper.
Yeah. But then none of this has been a part of Heartstopper.
True.
So, yeah, it's all a bit weird. I'm finding that all very difficult. My number 2 of my outside 3 is Doctor Who girl from the party.
Well, it's random that she was brought up and described.
She was brought up and described at the party. Then she was mentioned again at the Solitaire meetup.
True.
And I'm like, who is she? Why is she there? Everyone's saying, who is Solitaire? Doctor Who is Solitaire, right? And my 3rd outside choice is Tori. She's doing it to herself.
Now you're really clutching at straws.
or it's all in her head. She's making it all up.
Oh, I mean, it's a possibility.
She's having a severe mental breakdown. But again, I feel like if that were the case, Heartstopper would have had to be very different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out. Full stop. End of sentence. And I want to know, I really want to ask you questions, but I don't want you to give anything away, so I don't feel I can. Let's just get into it. We finished part 1. We left part 1 at a really dramatic moment where Ben was getting attacked at the Solitaire meetup.
Yeah.
Solitaire had encouraged the masses to attack him, seemingly in retaliation for what he did to Charlie. Was it seemingly or was it explicitly? I can't remember now. I know it's
some
13.
kind of mention, wasn't there?
I think it was generic, wasn't it? He's a nasty person and a homophobe, given what he deserves.
So,
but it's
anyone who knows the situation would know that that's the reason.
Well, because also Ben beat up or attacked Charlie a few days before, didn't he? Right. Anyway, we get into part 2. Part 1 started with a Jane Austen quote, Pride and Prejudice quote. Part 2 starts with a Donnie Darko quote, which feels like a dated cliche. That was very much the thing back in those days. I don't know that people really know anything about Donnie Darko these days. Very much of its time. But I don't know, I was going to say, but really good go watch it. I wasn't really a fan of Donnie Darko. Jake Gyllenhaal's feature film debut, I believe. Certainly the thing that thrust him into the limelight. I've disliked him for a long time, but I love Brokeback Mountain. But recently,
why you dislike him?
I just he just always seemed to be one of those people that was a little bit too sort of sincere and worthy. But actually, I've recently, in the past few years, seen a different side to him, which I quite like. Yeah, so I don't know. I've got mixed feelings on Jake Gyllenhaal. Everyone thinks he's really hot as well, and I was like, and I'm like, I don't see that. But there we are. Let's get into chapter 1. Let's try and power through as many chapters as we can. It'd be good if we could get up to chapter 13, but that feels very ambitious. But let's do it. Chapter 1. Tori struggles with her personal emotional fallout from the party, as well as the academic fallout from her emotional state. So, we've got sweet Lucas being back and being sweet. We learned that he was a primary school crier, and that just makes him even sweeter. That Tori used to read books with him, and now she hates reading. What's with that? Why has she gone there? There's more to unpack here still, and it will be unpacked a little bit through the next few chapters, but I want to know what caused that switch in her, and I guess that's what this is all about. What caused that switch in her? I think we can all relate to that thing when we had friends at primary school, or like younger schools, depending on what country you went to, like middle school, or what's before middle school?
Primary? Junior?
No, in the United States.
Oh, God knows.
Elementary school. Elementary to Watton. Yeah, I think we can all relate to those friends that we're like best friends with and then they just disappeared and we moved on. And it's sad, but it's life and it happens because you think that's the whole world when you're 10 and it turns out it's not. I've got a question. Who has an email address at the age of 12?
I think I did. Only
at 12?
Yeah, but
in year 7?
Only because you needed one to
No, I
set
hadn't
up MSN.
You were using MSN at 12?
I think so.
Interesting.
But you'd have to like dial up, and then if your parents needed to use the phone, then they cut you off.
I definitely don't think I had an email address at 12. Maybe it's an old people thing.
Mine was Eckel_hippos. At Hotmail something.
And you're still obsessed with hippos.
I do love them very much, yeah.
And your initials are still Eckel.
Yeah.
So nothing's changed, really.
Yeah, that email's probably still active.
Let's try it. Email it. See if it emails you back. What would your password be? Can you remember what your password would be?
Not a clue.
That's a shame. Tori's being all like, classic Tori because she screwed it up. That reminds me of my own therapy sessions. Welcome, Tori. Of course, Charlie blames himself for everything because he would, but he shouldn't, and it's sad. Tori's written a scathing essay about Pride and Prejudice, which did give me a little bit of a giggle, sure, but also have a bit of respect. I say as someone who's got no interest in Pride and Prejudice myself. We discussed this, but there we are. And just generally, I'm left in this chapter with an overwhelming feeling of sadness for Tori that she no longer enjoys school or anything. How do you fix that when you lost the joy for everything?
I get they're not enjoying school because I grew up hating every single second of the school, primary, secondary and college. Hated it. It wasn't until I went to uni that I started liking, and that wasn't because of the learning either. But yeah, it's sad that it's not just school, it's everything.
I haven't really used my voice today. I've just been at home. How does she find that joy again? Again, I guess that's what this book is all about. Exploring. But it's sad. Chapter 2. Tori confronts Lucas about wanting to be friends, but doesn't quite nail it. Solitaire has stink-bombed the school. That feels very Route 1 and basic in terms of pranks. I was like, all the things that you've done so far, Solitaire, and you've resorted to this?
Yeah, exactly. They've stooped a bit low with that one.
It's just cheap. That's what, year 8 kids do.
They could come up with something witty and clever.
I think so. Which made me then wonder, is it more than one person? And is someone not as good at it?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Tori, I'm speaking directly to you now. You book character that don't exist, and this story that exists 10 years ago. Or more than 10 years ago. But Tori, listen, if you want to make things better with Lucas, and you should want to make things better with Lucas, he's an angel. Maybe don't go in angry and confrontational with him. And that's kind of a message for everyone, really, isn't it? Maybe if you want to make things better with people, don't go in angry and confrontational with them. But in this case in particular, I feel like Tori is the one who's in the wrong over him. I don't know what her problem is with Lucas.
She just seems so angry at everyone and everything.
Yeah, but it just feels like she's really taking out on Lucas, who's done nothing to deserve it. I can understand her anger with Becky. Yeah. I can understand some of her frustrations with Michael, because he does do things that overstep like normal boundaries and things. But Lucas has just been nice and sweet, and she needs to chill out.
Agreed.
And there's one part of me that feels like he's definitely in love with Tori. And then there's another part of me that thinks he might not be straight. He might not even be into girls. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I was sort of unsure as to whether he's just craving a friendship, wanting their friendship back like they used to have in primary school, as opposed to it being a kind of crush or a love for her.
Oh my god, maybe he's in love with Charlie.
Maybe.
I've just thought of that. Maybe that's what it's all about. But again, that would have had to come into Heartstopper, surely.
Yeah.
Ugh, and then Tori then goes snooping in Lucas's locker. What's wrong with you? Especially if it doesn't actually provide any evidence that he's Solitaire. Leave the poor boy alone. You're being a horrible person to him. Chapter 3, Tori and Charlie struggle through a difficult family dinner. And Tori hopes to meet Lucas to make up. Really acidy. Ugh. The toxic grandparents are back.
Oh, they're awful.
They're awful people, especially the granddad.
Yeah.
And I feel the most sorry for Charlie. I struggle to feel sorry for Tori because I feel she's a bit antagonistic. Mm-hmm. But I really feel sorry for Charlie. Ugh. That granddad calling Charlie skinny and commenting on him not eating much. But also, what are the parents doing not intervening with this? Mm-hmm. Why are the parents not telling them that
that's not on?
He can't do that. Why haven't they said before he even got there? Or like before Christmas?
Don't draw attention to it. Don't make comments. Surely you would set that rule before they come in.
It's all just bringing back all the sad feelings from Heartstopper when you're like, why are people not helping? Why do people make things worse? Why are people bad people? Anyway, Lucas is up for meeting with Tori, so that's good. Maybe they're going to repair their relationship. That feels nice. We learn that Charlie's thinking of going to Higgs for 6th form. That wasn't mentioned in Heartstopper. I wonder if that's something that's going to happen, or whether he's just going to stick at Truum in Heartstopper. Be interesting to find out. But yeah, of course, then Grandad continues to be a complete piece. About everything. There are some great 2012 music references, like Noah and the Whale, who obviously are part of the Heartstopper soundtracks. That's nice. Fleet Foxes, who I've had as my morning alarm all term this term.
Ooh.
I know.
What song?
Oh, just loads of songs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, different ones each morning, really. Foals and the XX. I love the XX.
Yeah.
Why have I forgotten about the XX? And why am I not listening to the XX more?
Yeah, they haven't really done anything in a while.
I know, but I loved the XX. Yeah. Loved them. Need to get back into that. Then Tori does go to meet Lucas and he doesn't turn up and he just gives her a text saying, sorry, kiss, or something along those lines. And it's
that's
like,
bad form.
No, it's not.
I mean, she would do it to him.
I like it. He's giving her a taste of her own medicine.
Playing
Good.
hard to get.
Sorry, but Tori is treating people badly, and sometimes when people do that, others need to step up and show them it's not okay.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So, good for Lucas, I say. On to chapter 4. Tori's on her own at school, because she's pretty much isolated herself from everyone, and Solitaire continues to orchestrate events around her. We have relatively anonymous Rita, as she's referred to in the book, telling Tori she's isolating herself. Is Rita a friend or a foe, do we think?
I think a friend, but I'm not 100% convinced.
Or is she Solitaire?
It's possible.
Everything is possible. No, anything is possible at this point. There's no sign of Michael. He seems to have just disappeared. At this point, now we learn why, but at this point, what were your thoughts about Michael basically having disappeared from Tori's life since that party?
I mean, I'm still worried about his home environment and what's going on there, and that maybe he's caught up in dealing with something, his own issues and trauma.
Interesting. Again, I just hadn't really thought that deeply about his home life. But there was a little bit of me that, again, was like, do you know what? Tori was really awful to him, and good on him for standing up and saying,
yeah,
I'm not going to be a part of this. She needs to learn that no matter how she feels about things, she can't just be horrible to people.
I know, but she pushes people away because she's in her own self-destruct mode. Do you know what I mean?
And I get that.
But you can't expect people to stick around.
No matter how anybody feels about... No, but it's not even like she's expecting people to stick around. She's being actively horrible to people.
Yeah, true.
No matter how you're feeling about things, you can't be actively horrible to people. Okay, sometimes you just are, but then you own up to it, you apologise and you move on. But she's just being consistently and relentlessly horrible to people. Mm-hmm. And that's not okay. And guess what? people aren't going to like you if you're like that. And that's not their fault, so don't blame them. That's your fault. We learn that Michael is a multiple national speed skating champion. Now, in my school, if that were the case, everyone would have known him.
It's a big deal.
In my school, if someone was like a town champion, everyone knew about them. But a multiple national champion?
Next level.
But here, no. But I suppose that's supposed to be the point, story-wise, but it's another one of these things I don't quite buy.
Yeah, I mean, to everyone in school, he's a nobody, even though out of school, he's obviously not a nobody. But yeah, it baffles me. Is he not in the local paper every 5 minutes? Or was that not a thing then? That should have been a thing then.
Well, he is, yes. It's mentioned that he's in the local paper.
So how do the kids not know about it?
Right.
Or maybe they just don't care about speed skating.
Kids don't read the local paper, do they? But the school, what would usually happen is the school would put it up on display, talk about it in assemblies. Exactly. It would be a whole thing.
Exactly.
I don't know. And then also, as a teacher, I do not see the humour in all of Year 7 letting off party poppers.
Ugh.
Sorry, no. I don't find that funny. I know there are people that would, but as someone on the other side of that narrative, no, that must not happen. Must not happen. Chapter 5. Tori and Michael reconnect, but things have changed a little bit. Michael riding alongside a bus is dangerous and must not happen. Let's start there. Mm-hmm. Buses and bikes don't mix.
Nope.
We must not encourage people to do this. Very naughty.
Shouldn't even cycle behind a bus or in front of a bus, let alone
or in the same town as a bus.
It's highly dangerous.
What do you mean you shouldn't cycle in front of or behind a bus? Where are you expecting him to cycle?
But I mean, like, not directly in front or directly behind, because they can't see you. If you're cycling behind a bus, you need to leave a massive
I would
massive
hope
gap.
that if I was in front of a bus, the driver would be able to see me through the massive windscreen.
But it's also, like, dangerous, because if a bus doesn't put their brakes on quick enough, then you're like...
But what can you do?
I don't know.
If a bus comes up behind you when you're cycling.
Well, then you just... I don't know, but you just avoid the bus. I wouldn't be cycling near a bus.
Okay. Do you cycle? Do you even have a bike?
I do. I have a very old mountain bike with broken suspension, but I haven't cycled it in a very long time, since before Casper.
Okay, fair enough. What we learn is that Michael actually got suspended for swearing at Mr. Kent. Allegedly. I didn't buy it.
Really? I did. Well, I didn't question it.
I questioned it.
Interesting. What part was not so believable for you?
All of it. I have the sneaking suspicion that there was something else that was stopping him from being at school, and he was just saying that. But then I also don't know why he would lie about that.
Yeah. Maybe he was busy planning the next Solitaire attack. Maybe he didn't want to be present when the stink bombs went off.
I'm just sus on it. Because he then also had this story about the teachers being disappointed in him. And, yeah, so him then telling them that they don't effing care about him. And yeah, how did you feel about that?
I don't feel like that realistically would be a suspendable offence.
No.
Because as a teacher you get sworn at left, right and centre, and also that was him getting frustrated. He wasn't sort of like swearing at a teacher, he was just using it in a general statement like, nobody effing cares about me. Do you know what I mean? It was like, it wouldn't have been like in an aggressive way, I don't think. I just don't think that he would have been suspended for that.
No.
Well, he certainly wouldn't in any of the schools that I've ever been in, but...
I'm just not buying it. And then, again, I'm asking myself, is it too obvious for Michael to be Solitaire? Because there's obviously someone connected to Tori, but is it too obvious? Then we learned that Michael went through Charlie to find out about Tori, and then that reminded me of the fair scene at Heartstopper, where he was like, I want to come and I want to ask you about Tori, and Charlie's like, why are you talking to me about her? It's all interesting, and I'm suspicious of everyone, especially Michael and everyone else, including Tori. Speaking of, on to chapter 6. Tori is subjected to a frank talk from Mr. Kent. Kent is going deep, but what's his end game? Classic bloody nosy teacher behaviour, I say. But also, it's important to be professionally curious as a teacher, especially if you're concerned about a child's well-being. But it feels like he's just getting very personal with his concern. Not in a safeguarding concern kind of way, but just in a like, what's your motivation, Mr. Kent?
Was this one of the things that made you start thinking he may be a suspect?
Yes, because he's obviously very much trying to encourage her to reframe her personal narrative a bit. Mm-hmm. But also the way... So I was like, he's almost a bit brutal in the way that he's talking about certain things and treating her. Like he's talking about the fact that friendless people tend to be the antagonist in stories. And is that a fair thing to be saying to this 17-year-old girl? And is there something with it? I don't know. I'm just... It
seemed like a strange
an interesting scene.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to understand why it happened. What was the purpose of it, if not to lay the groundwork? Again, it comes back to this thing, like, from a narrative point of view, like, it was a lot. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was put in deliberately to throw us off the scent or lead us in this direction. Maybe it was a deliberate misdirection. But if that is the case, it feels possibly a little bit far-fetched and heavy-handed. But then we remember Alice Oseman was very young when they wrote it. So, I don't know. I just don't know. Ellie. Chapter 7, Tori reaches a breaking point. She's actually crying. Is this rock bottom for her? Like, really bawling, sobbing, crying.
She really needed that, I think.
I think she did. It's so good to have a good cry sometimes.
I can't go more than 2 weeks without it coming out. You know, like...
And what about crying?
If I don't have a cry for 2 weeks, I will have like an absolute hysterical breakdown.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you cry about?
I don't know. Sometimes for absolutely no reason, but it just has to come out. Do you not do that?
No. Oh. Sometimes I'm like, I do need a cry.
Yeah.
But then I will watch something that I know is going to make me cry.
Yeah, that's I love doing that.
Yeah, that gets it out of me. Charlie's a good boy. I just had to say that in this chapter. He's a good boy. He's so sweet.
He is.
The way he looks after Tori while she's having a big cry. He's a good boy. And I want to know, well, there are only 2 of us at this table, but I'm going to ask it as written anyway. Who has a box of special things?
I don't have, like, my own belongings. I've got, like, a special box for each of the kids, but I don't think I've got a special box for me.
Oh.
I think maybe I might have done when I was younger, but God knows, no, I don't think I do anymore.
Oh. We've mentioned before, I think, that I have. I mean, I've stopped adding to them when I was like 22, I think. But yeah, I've got boxes that are mostly just filled with actual rubbish.
I've got lots of boxes of like photos and things like that, memories like that. But not,
this is all kinds of rubbish.
Yeah, not other bits and bobs.
From letters from people to bits of rubbish, just like bits of rubbish, like a wrapper of a sweet and things. So Tori gets out an old diary, which presents her as such a gross teen girl cliche, but also highlights again how she used to have joy, she used to be happy. And I guess it's the case when it's you and you don't necessarily feel or notice that you've changed because you've been in it the whole time. But looking back on it, the way she describes her relationship with Becky and the excitement of overdoing things, and like, that is definitely not who she is now. She has definitely changed a lot, whereas Becky probably hasn't. So again, maybe time to self-reflect, Tori, but she's not doing a very good job of that. But now, is she... Well, now she's still a teen girl cliche, but it's a different kind, I think. Mm-hmm. And then this is where I said, wait, is Becky Solitaire?
Well, I've already said Becky was a top suspect for me, right through. So, let's find out.
And then Tori referred to herself as a cliche teenager, and I was like, well, I've already written that, so stop copying it from my brain. Rude. Chapter 8. This is where it starts to kick off. Chili take Tori to a music festival. She attempts to talk things through with Lucas, but instead she goes completely off the deep end. Holly Humberstone reference. Throw me in the deep end. I love the thought of Chili having a chat with Tori, like a little intervention, even if it does make her feel a bit bad. I like it. And again, it's like, so is it them? Are they together driving this? A festival in January is definitely a sadist's move.
I mean, that's such a bad
Tori's
idea.
correct with that. Yeah, awful idea.
Absolutely awful.
I went to a wassail this January with some of my medieval
What's a
reenactment
wassail?
crew. It harks back. Well, this is a Tudor-style wassail, so it's a Tudor traditional, primarily pagan event, which welcomes in the new year and apples and things.
And apples.
And apples and
Okay.
things. Yeah, it's just a lovely little event, and now it's just like a lovely little historical community event. There were mummers and Morris dancers
What's a
and
mummer?
medieval reenactors. Mummers are traditional travelling, a traditional group of
Like nomads.
travelling theatrical folk
Cool.
who put on little traditional performances and things.
Ah.
My friends Ella and Alex are part of a mummer group, a mumming
Wow.
group. They're mummers. They mum
I mum too, but in a different way.
in a very different way. I went to one of those, but it was really lovely and fun, but freezing.
Freezing, yeah. Why that time of year? Terrible.
Because that's traditionally when a wassail happens. But this one, at least you were dressed up really... Well, I mean, I dressed up warm in medieval gear. Not that warm. But when you go to a festival, you don't want to be dressed up really warm because you want to dance and shimmy to the
Exactly.
music. But also, it's really cold. So it's just a bad idea.
It's a bad idea, full stop. And then your hands will be cold holding a drink. And if you wear gloves, you drop your drink.
Yes. It's all terrible.
It's a lose-lose situation.
There are no winners here. No winners whatsoever. What are our thoughts? So, Tori finds a flyer on the ground. It says Friday and it's got a symbol on it. It's a bit like the anarchist symbol. What do you think of that?
Oh, it's obviously something to do with Solitaire.
Well, obviously, but what more do you think?
I'm wondering what's happening on Friday. Are you not?
Well, yeah, I am. It's more the anarchist symbol that... Well, isn't it an anarchist symbol? Yeah, it's more that intrigues me. What's going on here? What's this story about?
Well, I'm expecting chaos. Whatever comes our way on Friday, it's going to be chaotic.
I have my thoughts about lovely Lucas's outfit in this chapter.
Remind me what he was wearing?
Shirt with little metal edges on the collar, a grandad jumper, Vans and rolled black jeans. I've got a lot of thoughts and none of them are good. I'm a black jeans guy and I roll the bottoms of them up. Sure, I'm on board with that. I'm more of a Converse guy, but I do have Vans. I'm okay with that. Shirt with metal edges on the collar.
The metal edges are the main issue.
Like some cowboy.
Yeah, I think you could go just grandad jumper with like a tee underneath, but not with a shirt with metal edges.
Grandad jumper with a tee underneath was a very 2012 vibe,
Yes.
I feel. Or... maybe even earlier. But, top man, late noughties vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But the shirt with the metal edges on the collar.
No, I'm not for that.
I'm not. But then it made me think of lots of young gays from around that sort of time that, again, were getting all their clothes from Top Man, myself included, that thought they were getting it just right. And that's why I'm like, maybe he is gay.
Maybe.
But then also lots of indie boys were also doing the same, so it was hard to tell.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. I think Tori being assertive and taking Lucas off to talk is good. They need to sort it out. Then it goes off the rails. Now, I've said things like this, but even now I'm looking back on it, I'm like, I don't know actually. Because I was asking myself, is she really so naive about him? How can she really not have a clue? And I think when I wrote that, I was like, about the fact that he
Is in love
with her.
Yeah.
But now I look back on it, I'm like, but I don't know that he is. Because he's like, I can't be around you, something like that. And she's like, well, no, why not? And he just sort of laughs, like, well, it's obvious. And I was like, well, because it's obvious. But now I'm like, but maybe it's not that. Maybe it's something else. And I'm so confused. There are so many theories. Oh, I started talking about this book like, it's all so obvious. And actually, I have woven myself into such webs.
I think, like, you end up overthinking, don't you?
I'm certain that I have overthought every possible scenario, that whatever it is, I'm going to be like, well, yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
But that's not because it was obvious, it's because I have gone down every single avenue.
Yeah.
And I can't believe there would be another scenario I haven't thought of that it would then be. But that would be a twist if there was something else I haven't even thought of.
That would be good. But yeah, in this situation...
You say as if that's not going to happen.
I'm thinking there are two situations. Either it's so obvious because it's so obvious that Lucas is in love with her and he finds it hard to be around her, or it's so obvious because he's obviously something to do with Solitaire and I have no idea which of those it is, and it equally could be either of those. And I feel like it's written in a way to make us not know which one it is.
Yeah, I'm both overly clued and clueless at the same time. Then she absolutely loses it. She has absolutely lost it, and I don't care for it.
Control yourself.
I've really gone off her at this point of the story, if I'm honest.
She's problematic.
She's controversial, I know, but yeah, she's very problematic. And I'm just not finding her likeable in this story. It's a shame, because I really liked her in Heartstopper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I feel the same.
I did like this turn of phrase, though. My brain is taking clouds and turning them into hurricanes. Now, that's a nice turn of phrase. That's good poetry there.
Absolutely.
I'll accept that. But I don't accept her behaviour, and I think I would just walk away if I was Lucas too.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 9. Solitaire makes a big play at the festival, and Tori is saved by Michael.
Yay, Michael. I still love Michael.
Now, why does Charlie say that Tori needs to come home with them? Why does he say it's going to get insane? What does he know? Is he Solitaire?
What does he know? He knows something. They know something. But I don't know whether it's because they saw that flyer and made an assumption like we did, or whether they have contacts or they're involved in something.
Nick Nelson was quite a driving force behind the you need to come home thing. And we know Nick Nelson, and we know that he's not going to look at that flyer and figure things out.
But Charlie might.
Love Nicky to bits.
But Charlie might.
Might he?
Well, who knows?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. And then there's this whole thing later in the chapter as well about there being a figure on the other side of the river and it looking like Nick. And I'm just like, what?
Ooh, yeah.
Is it Nick and Charlie? Is it Chili? Are they doing it?
I didn't think about it when I was reading it. That didn't occur to me.
Everything
but now
is
that you're
us.
saying
I am sus on everyone. But yeah, it all kicks off. There's a big thing on the screen, and then fireworks are suddenly being set off in the crowd. And I'm like, how can Solitaire be doing all of this? Who is this guy across the river? Is it actually Nick? Is it Michael? Is that who this... Or is it... What is going on, guys? It's starting to... And this is why I'm also like, is this actually just all a figment of Tori's imagination? Because it feels a bit... This feels like it's a dream.
Yeah, this whole scenario...
This is too far.
Felt surreal.
Are we led to believe that Solitaire set up this whole festival?
Hijacked the screen. And supplied everybody with fireworks.
Somehow... Well... What? Somehow put fireworks in the ground? In the ground, I'm assuming. Otherwise, they'd be on the ground and everyone would be like...
Unless Solitaire have a whole posse of people in the crowd setting off fireworks involved.
No, because one was just setting off right in front of Tori, but there was no one else there.
Yeah, I've got no.
It's all gone too far. It's all gone too far. And actually setting fireworks off in a crowd is psychotic.
Absolutely psychotic.
You can kill people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, how can that happen without people lighting them? These are the possible scenarios here. Number one, there were fireworks implanted in the ground. Which means someone would have had to have worked for days on a massive industrial level implanting all these fireworks in the ground in a way that the fireworks will be set off but people won't notice that they're there. Or the fireworks are on the ground the whole time.
But that would be obvious.
But then people would have been like, the guys out of fireworks here.
Mm-hmm.
And then for them all to be set off as well. I mean, what is this? Because again, like remote firework displays and pyrotechnic displays cost tens of thousands of pounds.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought there would be two scenarios. Either it would be one of those like remote pyrotechnic things where they light somewhere and then it all just goes one after the other, or I assumed that there must be colluders in the crowd who are helping and setting these fireworks off.
It's all a bit much.
And highly dangerous.
Very dangerous. Michael's appearance feels very sus.
Very sus.
At this point.
And a bit creepy.
It's Michael, I'm used to it.
Yeah, sure.
By now. Tori is on fire. But doesn't realise she's on fire. And that sounds far-fetched.
How can you not realise she's on fire?
I was once on fire and didn't realise I was on fire. That happened to me
How?
once.
Tell me more.
I'd been for a night out. This is when I was much, much younger. I'd been for a night out with friends. We'd gone to get a burger before going home. I then got in a taxi, and I remember in the taxi ride all the way home being like, it really smells smoky in this taxi. Like a burn, like bonfire smoky in this taxi. Why does it smell so smoky? Don't know. Couldn't figure it out. Got home, took off my lovely tan foam leather jacket that I wore religiously, and hung it up, and then noticed a huge hole on the sleeve, a huge burn hole. At some point, I don't know how this has happened. At some point, I burned a huge hole. It hadn't burned through the lining, just through the faux leather.
That's mad.
I'm assuming that at some point, probably coming out of the burger place, whatever, I must have brushed past someone with a cigarette or something, and
it started slowly
just
fizzling away.
Yeah, smouldered on my arm or whatever.
How
so it does
weird.
happen. It does happen. I was gutted. I loved that jacket as well.
Aww.
And I never found a decent replacement for it. Very sad. So yeah, she's on fire. She doesn't quite realise it. Then she jumps into the river. That is very dangerous
Yes.
at any time of year, but especially in January.
Did she never learn the stop, drop and roll thing? Surely everyone learns that.
But you can't stop, drop and roll where there are fireworks going off out of the ground, can you?
Well, true. But
You might drop on a firework.
Once they've gone,
But-
it's safe down below, surely.
I don't know.
You don't know how many...
But
more
also
are to
she
come.
clearly hasn't done her safety in action river awareness.
Yeah.
And it's just all very extreme and not very heart-stopper,
No.
I must say.
It's quite dark.
Quite dark, very extreme. Again, we're pushing into sort of Trauma Land by Josh Silver territory, which I cannot recommend enough.
Yeah, and this is why Heartstopper got turned into a series, and they left a lot of the kind of Solitaire stuff behind because it is a little heavy.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it.
It would just need a more mature audience, I feel.
But, it's not like 13 Reasons Why.
True, yeah.
It lives in between, in the in-between.
Yeah.
It's all very dramatic, it's all very extreme, and it leaves us on a precipice. Where do we go from here, and who is behind it all? And we're going to have to wait till next week to find that out. Oh, exciting! I'm excited. I'm so excited to actually finally find out who Solitaire is.
So are you going to go and read it now?
Maybe.
You got to read it before next week, haven't you? If we get to the end.
Oh, I mean, I'll definitely have read it before next week. That
okay.
would be ridiculous.
Yeah, just checking.
I'm going up to visit my grandma, so I might take it up for them.
Yeah, just don't audiobook it. It's not the same.
Or I might read it before and then take a different book up. I'm still yet to start the new Book of Dust, so I need to read that. And I've also been reading Lie With Me by Philippe Besson, which is a really lovely short novel / memoir about first gay teenage love. Oh, it's sweet.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I need to finish that and Solitaire and then get into Book of Dust. And I mean, I've just got so many books that I need to read. So many. I can't wait to read them all. So, but yes, that's it. Solitaire-wise, that's it for now. There are 6 chapters left, I think. 10, 11, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 chapters left to read. I think we did well today.
I think we did all right.
And I think we're going to bring it home next time.
Yeah.
Hopefully with Indigo here as well, because that'll be good. With the 3 of us getting in together. Nice.
Hopefully Indigo's settled in their new place.
I hope so.
Next week.
We'll find out then, I suppose. Oh, well, thank you for coming back on this journey with us, for getting back into the Solitaire. Well, thank you for coming back into the Solitaire fold. No. Thank you for coming... No. Thank you for It's been a while. Well, thank you for rejoining us on our Solitaire journey. As I say, we'll wrap it up next week. Let us know all of your thoughts and feelings. I've already talked about where to find us, so come find us there. And then, once we finish Solitaire, we've only got to go get back into Young Royals. It's so much to get onto. I'm excited. But we'll deal with all of that. We'll get there when we get there. Next week we're back to finish off Solitaire. You must come back, but read the book before you do, because spoilers. That's exciting. That's next week. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and goodbye.